a young black male seeking help, mental help, being turned away, and then he's found dead. That's exactly what a Georgia father says happened to his son. Let's put up the picture full mass. The Georgia father believes more could have been done to save his son after his body was discovered 3 weeks after he was missing. Douglasville, Georgia, police discovered Yaron Kathuri, his remains in a 50-foot well on Saturday, October 22nd, in the area near where he was reported missing. He was reported missing September 28th. He was dressed in the same clothes he was last seen wearing. Let me give you the background that led up to this. The father, whose name is Andrew, said his son had been denied care at a mental health facility hours before he went missing. Yaron's cause of death has not yet been identified. The 17-year-old told doctors that he was feeling suicidal, sent goodbye text to his friends, and made an emotional call to his family the morning he disappeared. Now remember the context. He sought help. He went to a mental health facility and was turned away. Prior to his disappearance, a doctor gave Yaron a referral to the Ridgeview Institute in Smyrna. You're looking at it right now. But after waiting 12 hours at the facility, the next day, staff told the young man and his mother that he could not be seen because they were full. They made arrangements for outpatient treatment in the future. Devastated, Yaron the next day would go missing. The police department did not assign a detective to this missing person case. They chose not to. Until after his family discovered his abandoned car at his favorite mall. Yaron's parents told the police everything they knew about his possible whereabouts and his mental health crisis, but they would not issue a missing person alert because he was considered a runaway. After pressure from his parents, the Douglasville Police relabeled this young man as missing. WSB TV reports that the missing persons report was issued that Friday, 2 days after he disappeared. The Douglasville Police said they discovered the teenager's remains between Arbor Station and Douglas Boulevard, the same street as Arbor Place Mall. The Atlanta Black Star reached out to the Douglasville Police Department for comment on this story. No comment officially as of yet. Let's put up the leadership. Margaret Collier, CEO of Ridgeview Institute in Smyrna, Georgia. And Gary Sparks is the chief of police in Douglasville, Georgia. I want answers here. Now, there's a microcosm and a macrocosm. The microcosm is this one situation where a young man was faced with a mental health crisis and he was turned away. He was turned away. They told him he can go through outpatient when he needed inpatient. He was turned away. Was there bias involved? Was this systemic? Was it economic? What was the problem? And then the macrocosm of our failed mental health system in the United States of America, especially in states like Georgia, who have routinely, year after year, cut funding, cut the budget, cut hospitals out of the budgetary responsibilities and priorities of the state. This is your cause and effect relationship. This young man should be alive today. He was seeking professional help. That is what we tell people to do. He did what we tell people to do and was turned away by the very agency, by the very industry that was supposed to help him. We're going to continue to follow this story. There are still many unanswered questions. Jeff, thoughts on this?
So when we talk about defunding the police, and I very much still talk about defunding the police, What we're referring to is taking some of the police department's bloated funding and applying it, redistributing it to mental health resources, in addition to housing and food insecurity. Now, a police officer and a detective were caught in this situation and to help with the mental health crises, which they are ill-equipped to do. If this child were to be helped with a well-funded, resource-filled mental health facility where they don't have to worry about healthcare providing funding for that, maybe this child would still be alive. After all, if we think about it, I'm glad that we're not talking about a police officer brutalizing this child who did not understand their unique needs. There's layers upon layers of failing this individual and his family, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, and I wonder how much of this is negligence and how much of this is willful disregard of another human being, all right? Hopefully answers will come very soon.